How was that for a weekend? That was pretty good, wasn't it? I don't know about you, but I had a great weekend, and today is Monday, so I'm ready to have a great week here this week. Of course, our test is not going to be on Friday of this week. It'll be a week from today, Monday, the 30th. So we'll spend this week talking about enzymes and proteins and denaturing and other stuff like that as we get ready for the test. All right, let's do the bell ringer. Monday, let's go.
All right.
Hey now.
Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interested too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
Yeah, so it's Monday and we've been talking about enzymes. Enzymes. Do I talk too fast? I heard I talk too fast. I'm going too fast. Am I going too fast for you? If I'm going too fast, you know what you can do is hit the slow down button on the thing. No. Yeah. Well, get excited about talking about enzymes and things like that. Let's review where we're at.
Oh, the enzymes are made out of protein. Protein. What are the monomers of proteins again? That's right, amino acids. You put amino acids together. And so enzymes are specific proteins that increase the rate of reactions. They speed up reactions. What do enzymes do? That's right, they speed up the rate of chemical reactions. What's important, because they're proteins, is the shape. If you're not the right shape, you won't fit your substrate and you won't work. Okay? Enzymes. They've got to be the right shape. Right? Enzyme, what it's working on is called the substrate, and then where they fit together is called the active site, and those two things have to match or else it won't work. Enzymes, they're proteins, they have to be the right shape. Enzymes stay in the right shape when they're the right conditions, and the two things that are really essential to enzymes are their temperature and their pH. Temperature is pretty straightforward, right? It's how hot they are. Usually enzymes denature in hot conditions. They usually don't, if it's cold, they usually don't denature, but they usually slow way down. But if it's too hot, they actually denature, or they bend out of shape. So if it's too hot. The other thing that we know about is that pH, this is the acidity or alkalinity of a solution, right? What pH means is basically how many free hydrogen ions there are floating around causing reactions. Things that have a very low pH have a lot of hydrogen ions, and therefore they are causing a lot of reactions to happen, and then we consider them to be corrosive. Okay? Most enzymes like working at a nice, mild, moderate, even pH that's neutral, like you would find in regular water. Okay? We're going to test in our next lab, we're going to test whether or not pH affects how the enzyme called amylase works. Amylase is a hydrolytic digestive enzyme that digests carbohydrates. It actually takes large polysaccharides and breaks them down into di and monosaccharides. Right? That's what amylase does. Amylase. It's made in the mouth, normally, in your saliva. So when you put food in your mouth, you start breaking down the carbohydrates just by having it soaked in saliva. Okay? Amylase. Your duodenum also releases, or pancreas releases amylase into your duodenum as well. Does the same thing. It takes any carbohydrates and breaks them down into smaller pieces. Okay? Amylase. Yeah, there's amylase. See, it takes a big sugar, right, and breaks it into smallest pieces, glucoses and maltoses, and then it'll take the maltose and break that into two glucoses, and then, yeah, that's what amylase does. In our next lab, we have 3 solutions of starch, of carbohydrate, that are different pHs, different amounts of acidity. One is very acid, one is very basic, and the other one is neutral. And we're going to see how amylase, the enzyme amylase, which I have in solution, works at different pHs. To do that, of course, we're going to have to test with iodine to see if they were able to digest the starch, and then test with Benedict solution to see if they were able to make monosaccharides. So it's a good lab, and that's what we'll be working on in lab today. Some of you started on Friday, and we'll be working on in lab today and our next lab time.
enzymes are the word. Enzyme, substrate, active site, denaturing. Those are all words that we are familiar with now that we're using, right, as we march on towards our test a week from today. All right. Thanks for tuning into the Bellringer. You're a great audience.